On today's edition of Judge Junior.
Hey man, you're one of the worst golfers I've ever seen. I want you to use my lucky ball. And I go, oh, you know what, fine, Red, I'll use your lucky ball. It's a red ball because his name's Red. So I go to hit this thing, Your Honor, and the thing explodes.
And later.
This whole time, I am trying to get in touch with my landlord, who's too busy because he's on his boat, who tells me, oh, I'm gonna fix it. I'm getting bad reception. I'm in Catalina Island right now on my boat.
Judge Junior is the people's judge. He's fair.
Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And I apologize for the issue that happened.
He's honest.
He said, she said, she said,
It
he
is a he
said.
said, she said
Let's
situation.
stop right there.
He's also a no-nonsense judge.
I want facts.
All rise.
It's now time to enter the courtroom of Judge Junior, the people's judge. The plaintiff, Franklin Boyd, is suing the defendant, Thomas Red Walker, in the amount of $1,212.38, the cost of a broken tooth that he claims resulted from the defendant's exploding golf ball prank. According to the defendant, this was Mr. Boyd's prank all along, and he's just mad that it backfired in his face. It's time for the hot seat.
I go golfing with my friend. I know he's not gonna break par, but I didn't expect him to break my tooth. Now I got 1,200 reasons he's gonna pay for it.
I thought we were friends. Mr. Pranky Pants loves to prank other people. Well, you know what? This time, the prank blows up in his face, and he wants me to pay for it?
All rise. You remain standing and come to order. This court is now in session with the Honorable Judge Stephen Monero, Jr. presiding.
Okay, Mr. Boyd, you're suing your friend, Mr. Red Walker, $1,212.38 for an exploding golf ball. I didn't even know golf balls could explode. Tell me about this.
I'm gonna smile right now for you. Sorry they're not as wide as they should be, but this tooth is now capped. It's capped because half of it was blown off because of his inconsiderate drunken prank, Your Honor.
So what was this prank?
So we go golfing every Tuesday. It's kind of a thing. All the guys from the auto dealership, we usually go out and play, and we like to have fun on the golf course, right? I think a lot of guys do, but...
Fun like exploding golf balls.
Not that type of, no, not that type of fun, Your Honor. I don't find that fun at all. He shows up, Red shows up, Your Honor.
Shows up as in after the fact?
No, when we get there to the golf course, he is already drunk, Your Honor. He is intoxicated
Come on,
at 9:30
everybody drinks on the golf
a.m.
course.
Yeah,
I mean,
on
We're
the
not
golf
here to
course.
hear about everybody, sir.
They don't show up drunk, Red.
Sir, talk to him.
Yes, thank you. Sorry about that. So he shows up. He's, intoxicated to a level where he can barely stand getting out of his car. So we're worried about the fact that he even got there. So we know this is not going to be a normal round of golf, Your Honor.
What happened, Mr. Boyd?
We get to the fifth hole. I'm not playing well. I'm kind of embarrassed that I'm
You
not
normally
playing
play well?
Actually, no, Your Honor. I was playing about as
You're
normally.
playing at par, as they say.
No,
way worse.
Your Honor, I am a above below par golfer. That's how bad I am, Your Honor.
Pretty terrible.
But I cheat well, so that
cheat
counts
well.
for something. I cheat well. So nonetheless, this is what guys do. We're all bantering on the golf course. We're on the fifth hole. He goes, "Hey man, you're one of the worst golfers I've ever seen. I want you to use my lucky ball." And I go, oh, you know what, fine, Red, I'll use your lucky ball. It's a red ball because his name's Red. So I go to hit this thing, Your Honor, and the thing explodes. The ball actually explodes. Shards go everywhere, powders everywhere. I'm like, what is going on? They're laughing uncontrollably.
So shards and powder, what affected your tooth?
Well, the chip of the ball, and I don't know what this was made out of. It wasn't made out of actual...
What's the chip of a ball?
Basically, the like a golf ball has those dimply covers around it. No pro explodes a golf ball, so whatever one he gave me wasn't made from the same material that
So this ball exploded, chipped your tooth, and
chips
now
the
you're suing
tooth, $1,200 worth of damage. Your Honor, I didn't even know how bad it was. I ran off because my eyes are watering, they're red. I noticed
You
that there's...
ran off.
Yeah, I ran off over to the cart shed so I could basically walk in and see what happened because I felt pain.
So you ran off like in a Looney Tunes cartoon.
Yeah.
It probably looked like that, Your Honor. That's how ridiculous this was. You wouldn't think that a little golf ball would do that much
I
damage.
wouldn't, and let's stop right there, Mr. Boyd. Mr. Walker, how intoxicated were you that morning?
Red, please.
No, I'll call you Mr. Walker.
I go by Red.
I don't care what you go by. How intoxicated were you that morning, Mr. Walker?
It's not that intoxicated, first of all, and you didn't even see me get out of my car, so how
Go
would
ahead
you
and look
know?
at me, Mr. Walker.
Okay, so I show up. I had a couple of beers before I show up because each time we play, we always have a couple of beers. And everybody drinks on the golf course.
Before
I mean,
they
come
show
on.
up, everyone has a couple beers.
Well, it's getting ready. It's kind of
Exactly.
prepping for the day, and we're gonna probably have a couple
Prepping
more.
by drinking.
Yeah, we we have a couple of beers. It's very cordial.
We or you?
The more you drink, the less
We
you
or
care
you,
about a
Mr.
slice or
Walker?
a bad shot.
Mr.
Pretty much
Walker,
everybody.
No,
everybody.
I'm asking about you that morning. Was there a we or was it just you?
Well, me, myself, and I.
Okay.
Yeah.
So all three of you had some
All
drinks
three
that
of us
morning.
had. So I had to have one for each of us.
All three of them
Okay.
had about 3 drinks.
So
in
he
there.
had no idea. So that's not all how it went down, basically. So it did happen on the 5th hole. So what happens is he's having a miserable day. And he's been talking about this promotion he got. He's been throwing that over my face like he's some
How
big
long
guy.
have you both worked at this automobile
We've
dealership?
been there I've been there for about 7 or 8 years. We've been there for about 5 together. He came in about 3 years after I did. Okay, and so he got a promotion, so he wanted to throw it in my face. And
Did
it's not
that bother you, the promotion?
Not at
Yes,
all. I
it
could
did.
care less. Listen, I'm one of the top salesmen there.
But not the top.
I move
Thank you, Your
product. No, because he's just more of a butt kisser than anything. It has nothing to do with that. I move product. Okay, he kisses butt. We get to the 5th hole, and he's actually making this part up. He actually reached into his own bag, pulls out a ball that's blue.
Whose bag would he go into if not his own?
Thank
well,
you,
I guess
Your
his
Honor,
own.
and I didn't take
so
it out of my
he pulls
bag.
out
I'm a witness.
He pulls out
Mr. Boyd, I don't need to hear your side commentary.
He pulls out his own ball that's blue, and he says the following. He says, "I'm going downtown, baby." I'm like, downtown? If you go downtown, you're going to shank it way out to the side, because downtown's that way and the hole is that way.
Mr. Walker, let's continue.
And so he pulls out his own ball, sets it on the tee, makes that statement, and hits it, and the thing blows up at his face, and he's going to try and tell me I got to pay for something he did. He is a prankster. He pulls pranks all the time. Remember the prank he did with Judy, our receptionist?
Please, sir, I don't care about the prank with Judy. And again,
He did the flowers thing where like
straight
squirted the
ahead.
water in
for
her
that.
face.
I'm the judge, you're the defendant. I ask questions, you answer them.
Coming up on Judge
Tongue,
Jr.
Mr. Boyd, are you a prankster?
Not a good one, Your Honor, but yeah, we joke around.
Okay, how do you joke around?
Tell
Every
him
now
about Judy and the.
Mr. Walker, I don't want to hear you say the word Judy again.
And
I
later,
went there to fix the thermostat. I turned it down. Then she started calling me like a crazy woman, and then the call stopped. And
So that's
I-
how you fix things, by turning down a thermostat? That's your extent?
closed captioning provided by This is Judge Jr. We're back with the case of Franklin Boyd, who is suing co-worker Red Walker for breaking his tooth with an exploding golf ball.
Here's another question. How long have you guys been friends for? The entire time you've worked together?
Yes, all 5 years, and we're buddies. We're pals.
so
We've
there's
never
no
had any
rivalry?
problems.
Not anymore.
No, there is a bit of a competitive nature because
Stop
when we-
right there, Mr. Walker. Mr. Boyd, is there a rivalry between the two of you?
He makes it a rivalry.
How
Your
so?
Honor. He makes everything a competition. Can I sell this car faster than you can? On the golf course, can I hit this shot farther than you can? Can I drink these beers faster than you can?
Come on, we have
Everything's
the
a
side
competition.
bets at the dealership talking about
You
who
come
can.
on, Mr. Walker, and hold your tongue. Mr. Boyd, are you a prankster?
Not a good one, Your Honor, but yeah, we joke around.
Okay, how do you joke around?
Tell
Every
him
now
about Judy and the.
Mr. Walker, I don't want to hear you say the word Judy again.
So here's an example of a prank at the dealership. You tell somebody like Red that this couple over here wants to buy this specific car, right? When they have no interest in the car. So you basically send them over to a couple who's not going to purchase anything. That's my version of a prank. Innocent, doesn't hurt anybody, doesn't blow up in their face and cause them $1,200 worth of damage.
So you've been traumatized by this experience, you're saying?
Yeah, I mean, can I show you these pictures of what it looks like, Your Honor?
Frank
Please.
is very overdramatic, and he's being overdramatic
Mr.
right now.
Walker,
He's just wasting all of our time.
Deputy Brown, if Mr. Walker continues in this fashion, we're going to dismiss him from the courtroom.
Yes, Your Honor.
I also have a witness, Your Honor, who can corroborate everything that I've been saying.
Let's see your evidence first, please.
So I have a picture of what happened to my actual tooth and the medical bills.
Thank you. Okay, we have the tooth on the monitor. It definitely is chipped. And then we have emergency room fees. Okay, so there is a witness. Miss Hunter, will you please stand and give me your accounts of that day?
So I can corroborate everything that the plaintiff said. I definitely saw the defendant putting a red, or giving him a red golf ball and him hitting it and exploding
Giving
in
him
his
a red
face.
golf ball, explain that a little more thoroughly.
Well, I saw him giving him the red golf ball.
So he offered him a red golf ball,
Yes. Yes,
and
he
then the
did.
plaintiff received
it-
the red golf ball.
Yes, put it on the tee, and when he hit it, it did explode in his face.
Okay,
And he was obviously drunk.
okay. Thank you, Miss Hunter. You may be seated. We have the witness, Miss Hunter, who said she saw you hand the ball over to the plaintiff.
And I'm saying there's no way she could have seen it because she was too far
Okay,
away
but
with her
she
back
did,
turned.
and guess what? She's not a car salesman, and I believe her.
So because she said it, it's true?
Because she's here as a witness and said it, and she has no reason to lie in this courtroom, whereas you, the defendant, who is being sued, does have reason to lie, yes, I do believe her.
Because the guy pulled a prank on
He's a
himself.
professional liar, Your Honor.
And that prank blew up in his own face. That means I have to pay for his damages?
Yes, you do.
That is,
Mr.
we're
Walker,
wasting everyone's time. You even noted it earlier.
Mr. Walker, you were the one that handed the ball to the plaintiff. This ball exploded,
He reached
and we
in his
have
own
evidence
bag.
that it chipped his
How do we
tooth.
know that's even his mouth? That is a random mouth picture. He could have got that anywhere.
Yeah, I just Googled it right before I
Gentlemen.
came in.
My judgment is for the plaintiff, and this case is closed.
Judge Junior has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is ordered to pay $1,212.38.
All right, look, I'm not happy about this decision. Pretty much a colossal waste of time, but I'll pay the $1,200 because I make $1,200 in my sleep. I move product to sell cars. It means nothing.
Red got what he deserved, and now his bank account's going to be just like his name, in the red. He still wants to be friends. It's going to take a lot of free golf.
Still to come.
Who else is on your staff? Who else helps you with this work?
My father.
Your father.
This is Judge Junior. The plaintiff, Layla Moore, is suing the defendant, Harold Edwards, in the amount of $6,267.46 after receiving second-degree burns because she claims the defendant failed to fix the water heater. The defendant claims there was nothing wrong with the water heater, and he is countersuing for $3,800, money the plaintiff owes him for breaking her lease agreement. It's time for the hot seat.
My landlord neglects me, and I have to go through what I went through. It's his turn. I'm going to get my money back.
I tell you what, she's going to need a hot shower after this case. She owes me money, not the other way round.
Okay, Miss Moore, you are suing your ex-landlord, Mr. Edwards,
Yes, I
for
am.
$6,267.46 due to second-degree burns.
Yes. He neglected to come and fix the water heater. I've been asking him. I have emails. He would never answer. When he did answer, he said that he would come and do it. Never heard from him. He's like a magician. He just disappears. Never heard anything. So I had to move out. I was hospitalized, and I'm here because I want him to pay the medical bills that I have occurred because of this. And
How'd you burn yourself?
the hot water. I was in the shower. I had to go to an event, jump in the shower really quick, didn't even think, turned it on, and it just went. I jumped out like, oh my God. Had to call my boyfriend, who was actually here with me today as my witness.
You said you didn't even think.
No, I didn't think about it because we were already having issues with this, but he never returned my phone calls.
So you were having issues.
Right.
So you knew it was faulty.
The first time I took a shower, I noticed it was very, very hot. The next time I noticed it was very, very cold. I began taking sponge baths. Meanwhile, this whole time, I am trying to get in touch with my landlord, who's too busy because he's on his boat, who tells me, oh, I'm gonna fix it. I'm getting bad reception. I'm in Catalina Island right now on my boat. Never heard from him, nothing.
Okay.
So yes,
Okay.
I would like my money. I would like him to pay, and I want my $1,000 deposit, and that's how it came up to the $6,000.
Understood, Miss Moore.
Yes,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Edwards,
Yes, sir.
were you on your boat this whole time that she was calling you about issues with the water heater?
No, I was not.
Did you
sir.
just jump off now just
Miss
to get here?
Moore,
Yes.
thank
Sorry,
you.
Your
Your
Honor.
turn is over. Now we have the turn of Mr. Edwards.
I pride myself on being a good landlord, Your Honor. I'm always try to look after my tenants. I'm there if I can be for them.
If you can be, what does that mean?
Well, sometimes I'm on my yacht, sir, and I often cruise off Catalina Island, and the phone reception is not too good there.
How often is often?
Every day.
Please, both of you, you will get a turn, or you may not, and I might dismiss the case.
Well, after my work's done and at the weekend, I like to go cruising on my yacht.
Do you not have anybody else on the premises during the weekends that can handle these calls or issues?
No, Your Honor, I don't.
Well, I would say that's not very professional.
Thank you.
There is obviously the emergency services if it's a life or death threatening situation.
Your Honor, may we
The
ask
same
him
as
to hold?
anybody else living anywhere.
Who else is on your staff? Who else helps you with this work?
My father.
Your father? Mm-hmm. What does he help with?
He mows the lawn and changes light bulbs and does a bit of painting.
May I ask you a personal question, Mr. Edwards?
Yes, sir.
What is your age?
My age?
Yes.
65.
And what is your father's age?
Coming up
So
on
what?
Judge
Does he even
Junior.
know what he was turning
This
off?
is not a tag team event. One of you speaks and the other doesn't, and that's how it works. If we have any more of this, I'll dismiss the case.
You're watching Judge Junior. We're back with the case of Layla Moore, who was suing her landlord Harold Edwards for getting burned while taking a shower. Mr. Edwards is countersuing for a broken lease.
Hey, my father is 90, sir.
He's 90 and you have him mow the lawn.
They should lock you up,
You
sir.
can't find somebody more fit or youthful to do certain tasks like that?
Well, I like to keep him active. And
You like
so
to keep him active.
I do, yes, because otherwise he sits and mopes around his
Who wants a
apartment.
sitting 90-year-old?
Right,
Let's
at
get him
the
to mow the lawn
expense
and
of
paint
get
the
other
house.
people getting burnt
Miss
up.
Moore. So, Mr. Edwards, while you're off on your yacht on the weekend, your 90-year-old father is mowing the lawn for you.
That's correct, sir.
Miss Moore, obviously you have a lot to say, so why don't you continue? When did you first realize this wasn't working?
It was months.
Okay, so for months it wasn't working.
Correct.
Okay.
And I emailed him. I left voicemails, everything. I even have 2 of the emails and voice messages here that I brought with me. He said something about 12 hours he gets back to people. That's a lie. He did not get back to me. He didn't even know that I moved
Miss
out.
Moore, take a breath.
It's just so frustrating.
I know,
you know?
and so that's why you can take a breath. Deputy Brown, would you please collect the evidence from Miss Moore?
Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
Brown. It says here that you did talk to the defendant and he did come and attempt to fix it.
That's what he said. He left me a little voicemail or whatever. Oh yeah, I did something. It still was not working. I had to get back in touch with him like, hey, it's not working. That's when I began taking sponge baths because I was like, look, I don't want to risk, anything like this happening to me.
Okay,
I have to be ready,
So for months, you knew it wasn't working.
Right.
You didn't want to risk anything happening, so you started taking sponge baths.
Right, and I was trying to give him the
Miss
opportunity to get
Moore,
back to
let
me.
me speak the way you're able to speak.
Okay, go ahead.
That's how it works.
Sorry,
Now,
sir.
it wasn't working for months. You went back and forth. He said he fixed it, but he didn't.
Correct.
It got to the point where you were taking sponge baths because you didn't want anything to happen to yourself.
Correct.
Then all of a sudden, magically one day, you decided that you would take a shower again.
Actually, I was rushing. I had to be at a big event, and it was major for my career. So I just had to get there, and I didn't even think about it. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm on my way. Okay.
You didn't think about
I
the
did not
fact
think
that
about
for
the
months
shower. Right.
you've been calling,
Totally.
emailing,
Yes.
no fixes. You were taking sponge baths. It's not 1850.
Right. My mind, I had like one of those brain fart moments, and as soon as I got in and realized, I'm like, oh my gosh! And it was like I had to call my boyfriend.
Sir,
Sir.
Mr. Edwards.
Yes, sir.
Does it usually take you months before you fix problems with your tenants?
No, not at all, sir. I normally respond to it, the call within 12 hours, and then try and get a workman there within 48 hours.
So 40 hours versus months. Where's the contrast here? I don't understand.
Well, this tenant called me. I went there to fix the thermostat. I turned it down. Then she started calling me like a crazy woman, and then the call stopped. And
So that's
I-
how you fix things, by turning down a thermostat? That's your extent?
That was the first procedure, yes.
The first procedure is turn down the thermostat.
Right.
Interesting. And then protocol doesn't mean that you have to go inside of the person's house
Miss
to make sure
Moore,
that it's
who's
working
asking the
properly.
questions here?
You are,
I
Your
am.
Honor.
That's
I am
correct.
so sorry, Your Honor.
Yes,
I am
yes.
just
Be
very
sorry,
annoyed.
be calm, be still, take some breaths. Let's call the witness.
Yes. Come up here, Chris.
Mr. Beverly, why are you here today?
I went outside one day and actually saw an older man tamper with the thermostat.
An
It was-
older man than this
It
man.
was his father. It was his father tampering with the thermostat.
By the way, who has dementia?
Yeah, something's wrong with his mind.
Okay,
his
So
memory.
what? Does he even know what he was turning
This
off?
is not a tag team event. One of you speaks and the other doesn't, and that's how it works. If we have any more of this, I'll dismiss the case. Now, sir, you say you saw his father
Yes, sir.
touch the thermostat.
I saw him one day. I was walking outside getting some out of my car, and I saw him tampering with the thermostats. And I asked around the other neighbors, how like, hey, who's that old guy messing with the thermostats? And they said, oh, that's the landlord's father. And they were telling me also that he's got some problems. He's got some memory problems or dementia or something like that. And so we don't know what his father was doing with the thermostats. He could be turning it down all the way down to cold, hot, whatever. We don't know what's going on. He's not a professional. I do know that. He doesn't need to have his 90-year-old father outside
All
tampering
right,
with the
Mr.
thermostats.
Beverly, take a breath.
The judge will give his ruling when we return. This is Judge Junior.
Mr. Edwards, your 90-year-old father who mows the lawn in your yachting absence,
Correct, sir.
is he the one that went to go look at the thermostat?
I did it first, and then my father went in because he used to be a maintenance man at the public
He probably
library.
used to be a whole bunch of things. Now, you're saying you had your 90-year-old father go and
correct.
fix a problem that you couldn't fix, again, just by touching a thermostat. How do you keep up the rest of this place?
It's very difficult, sir.
It must be with you and your 90-year-old father having to deal with everything.
It's a lot of hard work.
It must be for the two of you. I understand you're trying to save money. Maybe you can put more polish on your yacht. That's not what's important. What's important is the safety of your tenants. Is this understood?
Yes, sir.
But yet, your contract is binding. She cannot walk out 6 months to the year lease because she burned herself. It's not in here. It can't happen. So, I'm giving the judgment to the plaintiff in the amount of $2,467.46 because you do have to pay the $3,800 for walking out on your year lease. This case is closed.
Judge Junior has ruled in favor of the plaintiff. The defendant is awarded his counterclaim amount of $3,800 and as a result is ordered to pay a partial amount of $2,467.46.
This is still unfair. I really do appreciate what the judge is doing, but I know that I deserve more.